Hey, and welcome back to the Art of a Life Well Lived. I'm Christine Regan Lake, and it's good to be back here again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that. What that does is it helps to tweak the algorithm so that more people can see and get access to my messages. And you can do that, or you could like and share if you find value. That'd be great. And also, please give me your comments on the videos if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, or if you have any specific topics that you want me to cover. I absolutely want your feedback because I want to create content that is valuable to you, that you can use on a daily basis to heal and rebound and rebuild your life after a narcissistic relationship, narcissistic boss, narcissistic connection with friends, family, whatever. Okay, so let's get started. So today's topic, what I want to talk to you about, is the 5 toxic money traits that a narcissist will use to control you. So money is a really big deal for a narcissist, and part of the reason that is because our society in general has continually bombards us with the message that is your net worth equals your your worth as a human, right? So it's all about all about money, status, things like that. And so a narcissist typically has a very unhealthy relationship with money. They can use it as a tool of manipulation. They can be dysfunctional about it in terms of spending excessively. If you're dealing with a somatic narcissist is someone who is completely obsessed with their physical presence, right? So they'll probably blow a lot of money on expensive clothes. They will spend a fortune on, gym equipment, this, that, whatever else. Maybe if it's a woman, she's doing a ton of plastic surgery, stuff like that. But there's an absolute obsession with the physical body and the image that they project out to somebody. Somatic narcissists also tend to use their physical body as bait and lure for when they're trying to bring someone into a connection. They'll use their physique, those things. They tend to be very sexually oriented. Physical touch, things like that. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent on somatic narcissists, but just so you understand that money plays a very big role in the life of a narcissist. So what are the 5 toxic traits? Well, the first trait is that they are very secretive about money. So I remember we were growing up, my father telling me about another family in the town where, the father would just kind of give the wife a stipend every month. She never knew how much money he actually brought in because he would never reveal it to her. And my father was like, and I bring home the paycheck every week. I hand the whole thing to your mother, and she does what is necessary. So a narcissist can be very secretive about their money, how they acquire it. They could potentially be doing illegal things to acquire that money. They could also have financial infidelity, meaning financial infidelity is basically like cheating on your spouse financially. And what that means is, so maybe the spouse goes out and takes out a second mortgage on the house without the spouse's knowledge. And next thing you know, when they go to sell the house, however many years later, the spouse had no idea that there was a second mortgage on the house. So financial infidelity is absolutely a trait of a narcissistic person, how they're trying to control you. They don't want you in command of, the finances. And in a lot of narcissistic relationships, whether it's the wife or the husband, I know many times for women is, say a divorce comes to pass, they have no idea. They've never balanced the checkbook. They've never had any dealings with the finances. The spouse did everything. And now, they're a grown adult and they have no knowledge, no experience with the aspect of managing money on a daily basis. Okay, so they're secretive about their finances. That's number 1. Number 2 is they can be very generous with money in public, right? So the idea is that they are using that money to make them look good. It's all about the image they project. So maybe, they go to an auction for their daycare or their son's college, whatever, college charity event for raising money for the college, and they'll buy some big expensive painting or whatever. It's very lavish externally, but meanwhile, when it's at home, it's a completely different matter, right? So they're very big on making big financial gestures when it's in public and people can be seen, I'll pick up the check when they're with a group of people who they want to impress and things like that. So they can be very generous when it's in service of positioning them as someone very successful, someone very wealthy, someone very generous. So it's not coming from a spirit of just like loving generosity, of wanting to share the beauty of what you have. It's really coming from a place of manipulation, because they want to manipulate the perception of the people around them to make them believe that, I can do this because I'm so successful and, whatever. So I'm so rich, I'm so wealthy, I'm so successful, and this is why I can be so generous and things like that. Okay, so what's the third one? The third one is, while they may blow thousands on their wardrobe, they're skimping on the essentials, meaning they don't want to pay for health insurance, or they're blowing off stuff, not paying bills, things like that. So they have a very distorted hierarchy on the priority of what needs to be paid for. So, a lavish sports car, but they don't want to pay for your, something vital for you in terms of, you want to get something healthy for the kids, or you want to take the kids somewhere on a, family vacation or whatever. So if it's spent on them, it's kind of like there's no limits on what they want to spend on themselves. If it's going to make them look good, if it's their suit, if it's their clothing, if it's makeup, if it's plastic surgery, if it's gym equipment, if it's anything that's going to enhance their image to the outside world, carte blanche, that they can spend it on themselves. But if it comes to you and the children, well, that's a completely different story. Okay, so what's the fourth one? Well, the fourth one is they break the rules. This kind of goes back in line with what I was saying about financial infidelity. They don't feel the need to be above board and honest with their partner around their finances. They're completely self-absorbed, think that they live in a bubble. Rules don't apply to me, things like that. Again, the rules don't apply could lead to tax evasion. It could lead to lying and cheating and stealing in terms of how they generate their money. And they, in terms of what's equitable in a marriage, they might, be disproportionately controlling over the money with the spouse. Maybe there's a separate account, it's complete lack of any kind of accountability with how they behave with their finances, especially with regard to, a spouse or children or loved ones or whatever. It's just, they're the only one. They get to make all the rules. They decide what is and isn't appropriate with money. And the fifth one is that they use money as a reward or a punishment. So if you're going along with what they want, if you're allowing them to manipulate you, then they might reward you with lavish gifts at Christmas, things like that. But if for whatever reason you're starting to speak your truth, express your boundaries, things like that, then all of a sudden they're going to withdraw the money and you're going to be punished, right? So money is a means of reward and punishment based on your behavior. Now, this trait is intimately linked with something called money enmeshment, which is like, so say you've decided that your child should be a doctor, right? So now you're using money as a means to control them. Like, okay, well, I'll pay for this as long as you're going to, medical school. But if you decide to, do something else, then I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you out of the will. Or, it's a way to force and manipulate people around you through the use of money, coercive money tactics to get what they want from you. So it's completely unhealthy, and it's just another way in which the narcissist uses to manipulate the people around them to their benefit. And it's highly toxic. And this is why I think it's so important for individuals to really have their own financial independent income. I have said for years that I believe whether it's either spouse, whether it's the wife or the husband, if you are in a marriage where you are completely 100% dependent upon your spouse to generate income, what will subconsciously happen for a lot of people is that you will subconsciously start editing yourself, right? This person is solely responsible for your entire livelihood financially, and you are completely dependent upon them to provide the means for you to have a roof over your head and food in your stomach and things like that. So what happens is you start swallowing your truth. You start ignoring red flags. You start, disregarding moments where that partner has violated your boundaries, has insulted your intelligence, has done things that are completely out of line, and yet you swallow it and you swallow it and you swallow it and you swallow it because you have a fear of being abandoned. Well, I'm not the one out there making this money. I don't know how to support myself on my own, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut and I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be a good little girl and shut my mouth and take whatever is presented to me because I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my stability and my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important. That's what I've always said, that I think, and I'm glad that I always worked all through my marriage. And, we had our own business and things like that. But it was always very important to me to have that income, have that part of my life that was just me, right? That it allowed me an outlet to express my creativity, to express my thoughts, to pour my energy into something that mattered for me. So I think it is very, very important. Having financial independence gives you a confidence and a strength that you can never have if you're a dependent. It's just that simple. If you are dependent upon another person for your livelihood, for your existence, then you will subconsciously swallow things and accept behavior that is less than what you deserve out of a fear of abandonment and a fear of what will I do if they leave? How would I support myself? How would I manage things like that, because it can be overwhelming. And the longer the period of time has been where you have been fully dependent upon another person, the larger the fear grows in terms of what if they abandon me, right? Because you're not sure how that would go. And so it can get harder and harder to leave. That's why, if you currently are in a situation where you are fully dependent on your spouse, I would encourage you to potentially try to start something. If you're not ready to go get a full-time job, maybe try to just start doing a side hustle and slowly start building up your ability to generate income. Also, you want to take responsibility for, if they've always done all the finances, say, you know what? I think it would be good for me to learn how to balance the checkbook and pay the bills. I'll do that. I'll take that off your plate. You're really busy. And start exerting more leadership and control over the financial situation of your family, because that will help you to grow your confidence, grow your knowledge, grow your skill set, and you will feel, and slowly but surely, if you start developing your income stream, you might find that you start speaking up and you start speaking your boundaries and things like that. It's just super important. It's just one of the things that I personally have always believed that I thought was very important. And so those are the 5 traits of a narcissist and how they control you with money. And I'll just recap them quickly. They're secretive about their finances. They might do financial infidelity, where they take out loans without your consent. They might run up tons of credit card debt without you knowing, things like that. They're generous. Second one is that they're generous with their money in public because they want to use it as a way to influence people to think that they are super successful and generous and all these other things. But the impetus for giving is not coming from a place of overflow and generosity. It's coming from a place of lack and insecurity, where they're trying to manipulate the perception of the people around them to think X, Y, and Z about them. The third thing is that they can skimp on essentials. So they might blow several $1,000s on gym equipment, but all of a sudden now they haven't paid the health insurance for the last 3 months. The fourth one is they break the rules, right? The rules only apply to other people. They don't apply to me. So they could have, again, this could be financial infidelity, running up credit card debt without your knowledge, cutting you off from any means or knowledge of your financial situation. I was just talking to someone the other day who they'd been married 30 years and her name was not on a single bank account. She had no control or access over anything. He would give her money, but her name was on nothing, for 30 years. And so this is another way that a narcissist can use to control you. The fifth one is that they use money as a reward or a punishment to modify your behavior. So it is purely a tool of manipulation to get you to do what they want you to do. So if any of you are interested in healing your relationship with money, you can go to my website, ChristineReganLake.com, and go to the shop page. And on there, you'll see my course, Money Mastery Mindset, and you will read through it. You'll see all the different chapters that are in there, the different modules, and this can help you to heal your relationship with money. Part of what influences your relationship with money is the beliefs and the behaviors that you witnessed as a child, your parents. So if your parents have a dysfunctional relationship with money, more than likely you have inherited that same belief system around money, some of the same toxic traits. Only 11% of the population actually has a different money mindset than the one that they were born into. So if you want to heal your relationship with money, if you want to take greater command over your financial life, if you want to heal and resolve any of the negative toxic beliefs you have around money and become more responsible and adult up, right, level up with regard to your relationship with money, I highly recommend that course. It's Money Mindset Mastery. And it's on my website, Christine Regan Lake, in the shop section. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.